Honestly, this episode has to be one of the best, if not the best. Unironically, this is just the second episode, and it surpasses the first like 50 million times, because we see Mirko just go on an all-out beatdown against some high-tier Nomu all on her own. Granted, she took out 2 of them, and she still has to face off against the others. And this is her chapter too. This is Mirko, the number 5 hero. That is the episode title. Yeah, we're going straight into this. But it is quite funny at the very beginning, seeing how the doctor is so distraught by one of his creations being, well, killed. Kind of gives you a perspective that the villains have feelings. Although, to be fair, the doctor is pathetic, don't get me wrong. Him being sad about one of his creations being destroyed, not exactly pathetic, but it's just interesting. Seeing at least when the villains have some emotion that isn't just, I'm killing everyone. Then we have the heroes in the hospital. They're fighting off against the Nomu, and it's pretty cool seeing them team up. And obviously there's a funny thing where Endeavor tells Aizawa that, hey, you want to be my sidekick because his quirk is so useful. It's like, nah, I got some lousy students to still help. We do see Deku and the gang. They are doing their part, which Bakugo hates, of just evacuating. He's like, let me add a villain. It's just classic Bakugo getting mad, just shouting like usual. We got to see the Crust hero take on against a Nomu. We get to see some interesting things with the doctor's explanation of the Nomu. So they're basically their specific tiers. We get to see, obviously, as I said, Mirko is a badass. She literally survives like a fuck ton of beatdowns. And I mean beatdowns, like very high beatdown. And on her own. Her quirk is Rabbit, so you wouldn't expect someone like her to be able to take on, well, powerful opponents, but she's taking them all on her own, which is impressive. She makes me think of what Bakugo would be when he's, like, at full potential, just not really giving a shit if he's injured, because she lost her arm in this fight, and she's still fucking going on. And, yeah, the fight kind of ends with 3 high-tier Nomus left. But it shows what Mirko thinks. It's like, as long as she goes all out and doesn't hold back, she has no regrets. And nothing's gonna stop her. She's like a fucking train. Nothing is stopping that train. We do get to see Team Edgeshot start their assault. We get to see Jiro get worried for her 2 classmates. More specifically for Kaminari than Tokoyami, since Tokoyami is, well, he'll be fine. We do get to see Kaminari just obviously freaking the fuck out, not really wanting to be there. Midnight being, well, what she is, a teacher, calming her student down when he's on stress. And she actually gives him an advice that, hey, why don't you think of protecting someone? And that's interesting because that means that, well, I'll explain this in a moment, but we do get to see Tokoyami just kind of complimenting him, and it's like, it's just a quick misunderstanding, but he's trying to basically lift his spirits. The guy with the laptop, which Skeptic, I remembered his name, Skeptic, he's obviously freaking the fuck out because he knows that they're going to be attacked. And it shows the flashback to when Hawks learns about, well, everything and related towards Shiraraki through Twice, and obviously Skeptic is watching, so he knows that Hawks is the reason that the heroes are going to attack, and they do attack. And then you have one of the villains just with an electricity kind of type quirk just start like ready to attack the heroes. Kaminari gets like that moment where he thinks of, well, Jiro, and it's so heartwarming because we know that he likes her. That is the person that he wants to protect the most. The fact that it even has her say, do your best, charge bolt, shows that they care for each other at a higher level. More than friends for sure. But obviously we have the big battle starting with Kaminari like going quickly to the front, and then the most badass scene of just how he gets all the electricity suck up, and a very cool shot of him, I gotta say. Honestly, episode is a fucking 10 out of 10. There is no refuting that. It is just that fucking good, and I recommend to watch it for sure. Anyway, that is what I can say on this review. It's just pretty fucking cool just seeing Kaminari get some screen time. A lot of these heroes don't usually get screen time, but Kaminari and Mirko were definitely the MVPs of this fucking episode.